What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gravity the Beast. Welcome back to the Big Cap. No bullshit, just conversations about passions, philosophies, and perspectives. So we here with another episode. I got the homies with me. You already know the co-host. Go ahead.
Yo, Twan, neighborhood real nigga, back again.
Real shit. And we got some guests today. Going ahead.
Yo, what's up? This is AJ.
And I'm Jazz.
Back for another one. You were just here for Screenshot Day. Okay, so y'all already know, all the viewers that we have on a consistent basis. Y'all know the topics that we've been on for the most part recently have been based on The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi, a lot of it. And today we went over plate theory. And this is something that I feel most people might hear about and they have certain stigmas on it, or they might have certain negative reactions they get off rip from just hearing about the concept in general. And probably especially women when we talk about it in the context of men enacting this philosophy, right? So we just listened to the beginning of that particular chapter, just like 20 minutes of it. The whole chapter is an hour and 10 minutes long. And it was I actually kind of hard for me because I started listing these different topics for us to go over. But with some of the earlier topics in my list, I didn't have any specific timestamps to go on. So I just had to pick a good time to stop it, where there's still a lot more we could have touched on within plate theory. But I feel like the initial part of it, the point got across, right? So just to kind of sum it up for most people who may not have heard about what plate theory actually is, it's the understanding that, especially as men, we need to and I'll say it in the simplest way possible, we need to deal with multiple women. Not necessarily for sex, but for experience. It's to understand how we act within our lives and how our confidence and experience with the opposite sex affects us within our lives. How we choose partners of the opposite sex, and even as far as how our confidence is in our everyday life, whether it be business or all these other aspects we could touch on. So we just listened to the excerpt, or you could call it that, from the book. I want to ask y'all thoughts first. So this is your first time on here. AJ, go ahead first.
My thoughts on it was the way he was breaking it down. I feel like I was already kind of familiar with that theory, having options, men having options. And I just thought that was an interesting way of how he said the plate theory, spinning the plates.
Face the mic, yeah.
When he said about spinning the plates, I thought that was a good analogy for it. Oh yeah, man! It just made a lot of sense to me. It was nothing new to me. I thought it. I feel like in society they made it so that it's wrong for men to think that way, and like women could think that way, but men shouldn't think that way. They have to be monogamous. They can't have options. If they have options, then
it fucks them up.
Yeah. So. I know. I just thought that was an interesting little chapter there.
Okay. All right. Before we get deeper, go ahead.
For me, I liked how, so along with like the options thing and like being able to exercise your options, and not necessarily for sex, just to get experience with women, you know. For me, like personally, like when he like about the experience thing, I understand that very well, because not all of these girls that I'm trying to talk to, I'm trying to have sex with, because some of them, I've gotten turned off from them sexually, but I still kind of want to talk to them and just like do things like learn how to learn how to play better with words when I'm talking to them, having conversations, or trying to bring a conversation out of nothing if she isn't very like interesting herself. You know what I'm saying? Just learning how to do stuff like that helps a lot, even if I'm not trying to or having sex with them.
Antoine,
I feel like I find plate theory interesting for the underlying benefits of it. It's like, yeah, you get better with women, but it's like it's like more confident, like that abundance mindset. It's like it trains that confidence, that swagger that you might have. And in you chasing multiple women, you automatically get more women because more women respond to that anyway. Even if they were to feel a way about it, they are naturally drawn to men who have options, period. I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
See, I'm with you there. The only thing I would say is like, I don't think it's as simple as chasing multiple women. I think it's the experience you gain from chasing multiple women. I feel like a woman might look at a guy who's chasing multiple women or like actively pursuing multiple women and try to shame him and call him thirsty and try to just say a bunch of negative things about him based on how they perceive him when they find out that, oh, you're dealing with so-and-so and so-and-so or whatever, right? Opposed to the experience that comes from it. You know what I mean? Like, I had like, and this might be a part of one of our following screenshot day episodes, right? So I asked the status on my Facebook and I was like, okay, so how do y'all feel about sex on the first date? And like, well, we can elaborate more on that particular episode, our following screenshot day episode, but I got a bunch of different responses. And in one of the responses, it was a friend of mine on Facebook that had commented about how men look at a woman who has a certain amount of bodies as a whore, but then how the guy that has a bunch of bodies is not a whore. He's looked at like a god, or he the man, and blah, blah, blah. And it all came down from the conversation about how do you feel about sex on the first date? Now, a lot of women might feel like they're looked at as a whore, a slut, or whatever if they do have sex on that first date. Whereas the truth of the matter is, it's like, look, it's more of a reputation, like, to some extent. Like, I heard somebody say, men want a woman who doesn't have a past, and women want a man who has a future. They think about what you will have one day and what you can attain, and then men think about what you have done and how will that affect him and his reputation, so on and so forth, right? You could be the sluttiest girl in the world, right? And have mad bodies, whatever. But if you have no reputation for that, if you have a certain amount of respect to where I don't look at your name and think slut, whore, whatever, and we go out and we vibe and we fuck on the first date.
It's almost like it never happened.
It's like it never, I never know. I don't want to know. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't really matter, because it's not like you fucking me on the first date is not going to make me look at you like a whore. Like, if you fuck me on the first date and you hold nothing else of value, then I'm going to just be like, well, I'm a dip, but it's not because I thought you was a whore. It was just you. I mean, it was just that. Whereas if a girl could be the perfect girl for you, you might look at her a little bit differently. Now, I say all that to say, like, going into the stigma of that is where I had to explain to her that it takes a lot more for a guy to have sexual abundance. And she never responded to this part, mind you. But it came down to the point of, like, look, if a guy is going to shame you for whatever, okay, he's going out of his way to do that. I'm not going to say that's right or wrong. More than likely, he's just mad he doesn't have the sexual abundance of a woman. I always say, don't get mad. Don't get bitter, get better. So it's like, yo, if you going to call a girl a whore because she fucked a bunch of dudes, well, you could call her that, and a lot of people probably agree with you, but would you not have fucked 100 women if you could? But men and women, we're not looked at the same. We don't have the same standards. There are double standards on both sides. But that experience that comes with that guy that fucked 100 women, he had experience when he fucked 10, when he fucked 20. That 20 helped him get to 30. That 30 helped him get to 100. And regardless of how many he fucks, that experience is more and more attractive, attracting the man, making the man more attractive, I should say. And it on a base level, it really does come down to us understanding that we have to develop our value. When you have multiple plates that you're spinning, you get better at spinning plates. When you have multiple women you're dealing with, you get better at dealing with women. And like most women want a guy who knows how to, quote unquote, handle them. It's like we hear that type shit all the time. It's like, oh, I need a guy who can handle me or who could blah, blah, blah. You can only get better at handling women by handling women.
Right.
Whereas all a woman got to do is listen to be good for her man. I mean,
Well, that was really good. That was really good.
but it's on, like, what were some of your thoughts?
See, it's weird because it's like when you said like the double standard thing. It's like women naturally use plate theory, like he said in the book.
Yeah.
It's like that woman she'll fuck the one nigga, but will have these other niggas that she's just talking to that she might use for this, that, and the third. It's basically the same thing, but men do it, and I feel like it's done that way because everything's like a power struggle between like male and female interactions.
Dynamic.
Like, dynamic. It's like the one who has the most power is the one that needs the other one the least.
Yeah.
And that's why women might withhold sex. So it's like I'm not gonna keep fucking with her, John. Not she doesn't smash me the first night, but within like 3 nights. Like after 3 dates, she's not fucking, I might drop her because now she's trying to leverage sex against me to get what she wants.
Yeah. How y'all feel about that statement? Because I mean, I agree, but I know a lot of people they tend to get thrown off by statements like that.
Yeah, and I feel like plate theory, to finish up, I feel like plate theory is good for that because you're more inclined to just drop her because you're dealing with other people who might be more cooperative or able to go into your frame better, fit in your life better than that girl type shit.
Yeah.
But go
No,
ahead.
I just wanted to say I completely agree. Like, I don't even have nothing else to add to that. That was pretty spot on, I think.
Word.
Sure.
See, all right, but before we continue,
For me, yeah, I agree. I was talking to this one John, and something as simple as like talking to her over the phone or like texting or whatever, she just wasn't responding for real. She's always saying she's busy or whatever the case is. I was like, all right. And after like a couple of days of me like trying to interact and I wasn't getting a response, I was like, all right. I just stopped talking to her and just started talking to other multiple women, and I kind of just like forgot about her for real. And then I hit her up the other day after I remembered I was trying to fuck with her, and then we talked for a little bit, and then I think we came to a mutual understanding that it's just not going to happen for real. At least not right now. So I was just like, all right, bet, and just left it alone like that.
see, I feel you there, and I honestly that made me think about a whole different like side topic, but and we will get back into that. But real quick before we move forward, so you say you agree with a lot of the things that was just said, right?
Yeah.
What have you gone through, or what have you seen? Like, how have you come to that point? Because a lot of people disagree. You know, a lot of, especially in our modern age, maybe it's because of like mass media or the way we're raising each other. The intersexual dynamics in the household, your average household nowadays, it might lead somebody to have different beliefs or different point of views that might seem totally opposite of some of the things we're saying. Like there are people that would hear what we're saying right now and be like, oh, so you're teaching boys how to be players, or you're telling them to play with girls and blah, blah, blah. But like when we break it down, obviously anybody with some type of sense is going to understand that that's not the point. Yeah. You know, it's understanding how to be a better man. And within being a better man, you have to interact with women. It just is what it is. And that to be your full self, that's not to talk about being fulfilled as a man, but it's saying if you want to be the best you can be, you got to get the most experiences you can. Yeah. I mean, so, but how have you personally come to that conclusion, especially within the intersexual dynamic aspect?
Well, really, my dad talks to me about a lot of his experiences.
Okay. As it should be, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. And he always tells me, not to fall in love, not to get stuck with one girl. Always talk to multiple girls to get that experience. Because to me, that's just dating. Like, dating is just trying out different girls. I may come off a certain way, but it's just like,
I'm with you. I mean, the way that sounded sounds a little off-putting for your average person. But continue.
Right, yeah. But
continue.
I don't know. Like, to me, like I said, that's just the definition of dating to me. You have to, in order to be, like, eventually a good husband or just to understand women, you have to experience multiple women. And that's how I always thought about it. Like, And I don't see why. Well, I guess I kind of understand why people might be a little off-putting about that. But to me, it just makes perfect sense. Like,
I mean, it's the Femi mind control.
yeah, like that's just how men's mind work.
See, hold up. All right, so let's take this real quick, and I want to bounce off of what you just said.
Uh-huh.
So, one, I think one of the great things to focus on is the fact that you said you had these type of talks with your father. Now, I mean, I would say I can't speak on the world, but I know, or I'm not even going to speak for the majority of the country, but I could say, like, within the black community, there's single parenthood running rampant.
Right.
And we see that happening a lot. So for you to have grown up with both parents and you've had these type of talks about dealing with the opposite sex from your father, that's the ideal in most situations, right? So that's where we start off. But when it comes to like dating, I want your opinion on this. I feel like the term dating is to some point outdated in our like modern times. Like dating has been replaced with talking. It's like, yeah, like back in the day, you might go out on a date with a girl and you had no shame about it. You wasn't really hiding it. You say, yeah, like we went out on a few dates. Maybe you made out with the girl. Maybe you had a couple dates and it was cool. Maybe you went on a date with this girl on Tuesday and this girl on Friday. The girls is doing the same shit. Okay. At some point, sexual revolution starts getting crazy. Kids start doing crazy stuff. Now, dating isn't really dating, you know? It got to the point where, like, I feel like the youth got so caught up in sexuality that a simple date to go get some ice cream, a date for coffee, a date at a burger spot is now going to a park and fingering each other, fucking going to a party and finding a closet. And, like, I feel like, and I could be wrong here. I'm not trying to act like this is a fact. What I'm saying is this is just my personal like perspective, just things that I've seen, where it's gotten to the point where now people don't date, they just talk. Before it would be, hey, what's your number? Hit her up, go out on a date. Now it's, hey, what's your number? And you talking for 2-3 weeks, and now you're not going on a date, you chilling. And now like this ain't a girl you dating, this a girl you talking to. And you might be chilling and talking and y'all fucking. And then nothing. You never claim the girl. She never becomes your girlfriend. Y'all was just talking. And then you could say, yeah, I was never with that person. I never dated him just because you ain't go to a movie or a restaurant. And within that, I feel like it does change the dynamic a bit. People don't even know how to interpret what it means to date, to be in a relationship, what it means to actually care. I feel like sexuality fucked things up. People don't know what to value because now, opposed to saying like, yeah, you want to go out for a burger? I like her. She's nice. You're just like, yo, let's chill because you trying to fuck. Or even now when you get that burger, you're not really thinking about like what a kid 20, 30, 40 years ago was thinking about. You're not satisfied with making out with her no more. You trying to get something from it. So now, like the power has been placed in the female's hands at such an early age. I mean, not to say that the power wasn't always there based on us just being horny little children, but it's like now, it's like you got the fucking. You used to have the cheerleader let me not say this word because I heard this word got flagged. You used to have the cheerleader go after the football player because he was the football player. Now the football player goes after the cheerleader because he's horny. The person who holds the power forgot they got the power, and now leverage has been placed in the opposite hands. Plate theory kind of eliminates that type stuff. I was just trying to address that initial thought that you made pop up in my head. Before we go back into what you were saying before, what were your thoughts, Twan?
I feel like when you say it's switched, I feel like that's that pussy on a pedestal mentality.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been partially created to deter from plate theory, and because plate theory benefits men solely type shit, as opposed to women who now have the power. It's the man, the football player chasing the cheerleader because she's horny. It's all in her power. And so, as a female, sign language, shame, insults.
Guilt needs to be right, yeah.
Yeah, they use that in order to dissuade from shit that might not be wrong in a male's nature. Shit like plate theory. It's like trying to keep the pedestal on put pussy on a pedestal. That they're trying to defend that pedestal.
As they should. I ain't gonna act like. I mean, I'm not saying it's most beneficial for them for like a happy life, but like short term power grabs. I mean, I wouldn't let it go either. I get it, but I mean, at some point you gotta understand the circumstances you in and your long term decisions.
But it's like I feel like the pedestal breeds entitlement or a certain amount of.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Hold up, and this just reminded me of some other shit that I mean, this could be a side topic. We could like bring this back up on Screenshot Day, but it was a video I just saw on Facebook today where it was like the title was, "Oh, this guy is the master cheater," and I was like, "Huh?" And I look, and I'm like, "Yo, this dude look ugly." I'm like,
Clickbait.
Nah, but I listened to him talk, and I'm like, "Damn, I see, I see how that could work." And I'm like, "Yo, you savage, dog! Like this guy is savage." It's like
he's spitting that game.
Yeah, but I'm like, yo, my only instinct is like, yo, you's a balding black nigga. Your skin don't look the greatest. Your lips is black. Like you do nothing but smoke on the dirtiest tobacco.
Welvin.
Like this nigga look wild. But then he's talking this shit. This nigga, yo, what he said was, so he got a girlfriend, right? And then he had kids. But then his girl of 5 years, who he's been living with for 5 years, does not know he got kids. Because the girl he had the kids with, he told her he's living in transitional housing. So he goes from place to place. So she can't never send him no child support. She can't send him no nothing. The whole time he living with his girlfriend who the baby mom don't know about.
Yeah.
And then taking it even deeper, this nigga was talking about how he got his sister saved into his phone, this beautiful lady. So when the girl go through his phone, she be like, "Who, beautiful lady?" She call a number, and then it's his sister. Now he could gaslight her and be like, "Yo, so why you going through my phone?" This dude, he's taking it. He's taking it even further. He's like, "Yo, when my homies is like out on dates with beautiful girls, I tell them to send me the video. They send it, I post it. So now girls look at me like I'm on dates with these beautiful women.
Yo,
and then they hit me up because they want to see why these beautiful women are into me."
Yo, this is like the dark side of the force right here. Like, this is a Sith ass nigga right here, yo.
It's real, and he's talking about it. But like the reason I brought that up is because in this he actually talk, and he says it in the most savage way too. He was talking about how like this whole female like body positivity shit don't fuck the game up, because it's like I've noticed the difference with fat women. It's like he said it so casually. He's like, I noticed the difference. It's like, yo, like Lizzo fuck shit up. Like he's like, like they like overconfident and shit, and it's like I can't really use them like I used to. like hey yo, it was like some of the most savage shit I ever heard. Like that, we gonna do a reaction to that, and like
this
as
is the
part
dark
of some
side
other
right
shit.
Here.
But in that though, he just mentioned that as far as like the entitlement and like mistaking your value and overvaluing yourself and not understanding how other people actually want to value you or how much they would put into you, and that kind of spills over into other shit. It's like I could speak from my own personal experience, right? When I was younger, I used to think that, or let me not, fuck when I was younger. Is recently, like as a part of the blue residue shit. Like it's actually funny how much I learned from that most recent experience. And real quick, before I even get into it, I just want to acknowledge this, right? Like I always thought I was smart when I was younger, but then one thing that kind of changed my interpretation of intelligence was when Charlemagne was like, smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. And then when I first heard that, I felt like, well, I never really got that much experience, so I'm probably more like, well, no, wise people learn from their own mistakes. Smart people learn from the mistakes of others. I don't have that much experience, so I must be like smarter to a certain end. But then you still need a certain amount of wisdom. So like going through my own experience, I could look at myself and be like, okay, I was in a relationship for a short amount of time a few months ago, and it was new. I mean, it was old, but new at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But right as I got into that situation, I just started noticing different chicks around me. And I was just like, oh, she's cute, but I can't talk to her because I'm in a relationship now.
Oh, damn, word.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like I'm really
like the switch was unconscious almost.
It was unconscious. It was like, yo, I'm thinking I'm trying to be the good guy, you know? I don't want to be the bad guy. I want to be loyal and all this extra shit. But then there's other aspects to that I'm not going to make it seem so like, oh yeah, me having this whole mentality fucked me up, because it was a lot of other shit that I didn't know at the time, to where had I went and talked to whoever that extra girl was, I probably wouldn't have gotten nowhere simply because of how I perceive myself, where I actually was, the experience I have, my levels of communication, whatever it may be, right? So I can get that, but just that instant thought of, I can't because I'm in a relationship. And then the relationship goes nowhere.
Play theory is only wrong when you cap him.
Explain what you mean by that, please.
I mean, it's like if you got this joint and you out here talking about, yeah, you my only girl, this, that, and the third, blase, blase, blah.
My God.
And then you go out and you do some fuck shit. You don't gotta tell her the truth, but you don't gotta lie either. I feel like that's how play theory's supposed to operate. That's how it operates at its most effective.
Like what she don't know won't hurt her.
Nah, dog.
No, it's like you don't lie, but you don't overtly tell her that you're doing what you're doing.
Like, don't say that, all right, yo, so we in a relationship, I'm not eating red meat no more. And then she found out you ate a burger. It's like, you gotta let her know, like, look, I'm still gonna fuck up burgers. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I eat burgers, so don't get mad if I have a burger. Like, look, you my favorite.
I'm eating a little bit healthier now.
It's like, yo, you my favorite piece of chicken, but I like burgers. Like, what the fuck? Like, you think I'm just gonna swear off red meat because now I'm with a piece of chicken? Like, what? It's like, what?
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you're in a relationship, then
Depends on the type of relationship. Are we in a relationship where I told you I wasn't eating red meat no more? Or are we in a relationship where I told you I'm going to eat my burger from time to time?
Okay,
There you go.
okay, that helps. That helps.
It's like, how straight up are you about it?
I feel like you don't even gotta do that.
I mean,
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it'd be
to
like-
some extent, not
like, yeah, I
so
got chicken.
directly.
Yeah,
Not
okay,
so
yeah.
directly. But it's like all right, so here's another example of the plate theory aspect, right? This is later in the chapter. But the author of the book himself, Rollo Tomasi, would talk, like, he's been married for like 17 years, some shit like that, right? And I don't know what he would consider himself. He's one of the guys in the RP community, but I think he considers himself more purple pill. I don't know, but like most dudes who get into long-term relationships are purple pill, where it's like you leave the blue, but then you understand the red, but you still choose a relationship. And even within that, it's like when you go on a business trip, what is your lifestyle like? Like, what do you present to your significant other? Because you might not necessarily, like, you might put a ring on her finger, and a lot of the times people talk about, well, yeah, when you married, everything changes. It's because you change. You lose your frame. It's like one of the things that I would say, and I don't know how most people will feel about it, but they say when you get married, it stops being about you and it becomes about us and we. I agree. But marriage is a family that can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways. But when you look at it as marriage is a business, as the way it should be and traditionally is, there's always a CEO, there's always an owner, there's always a chairman of the board, there's always a certain amount of votes and somebody with the final say. When we get caught up in who got that final say, things get messed up. So when we think about it as far as just the whole idea of plate theory, this guy before he gets into a relationship, he might be dealing with multiple women. The woman knows he has options. She is scared to lose him. You might say that in a negative connotation, whatever. But she does what she can to maintain her man, as she should. In the same way that guy working hard and providing to maintain his family, as he should. Now, you get married to the girl. If you establish that you weren't going to be sexually, you weren't going to have any sexual infidelity, I should say. Well, you fuck another girl, you cheated. Even though you were exploring your options, and we could talk about how men and women do X, Y, and Z and how things shouldn't be looked at the same. If you agreed to it, if you agreed to not have sex with any other women, and you do, you're cheating. Cool. But beyond that, understanding the idea of spinning the plates, or at least the perception of it when they talk about the covert aspects. Let's say I'm a district manager for a group of hotels and casinos. I got to go to different hotels and casinos. I might got to travel to another state to go see a different casino. I'm in bars, party atmospheres. I'm meeting celebrities. I'm wearing fancy suits. I got girls looking at me all the time. You know I got options. You know I'm loyal to you, but you know my options. It's a difference between I'm actively going on dates with these girls and I'm maintaining that interest versus me. I'm a man of such status to where this interest comes. You need to keep working to keep me. I need to keep working to keep this status and this money and this wealth and whatever. And you need to keep working to keep me. If you fuck up on your side, I have options without my job being interfered with. It's like you got a lot of niggas who might have a situation where they love their girl and they put so much into their girl, and then their girl do some shit and they get depressed and they fuck up on their money, and then they lose the money. The girl not attracted. They lose the girl. The girl's their whole world. And now they lose themselves. Opposed to understanding, like, look, if I focus on me, I'm going to keep her. And if I don't keep her by focusing on me, somebody else is going to come to me because I'm focusing on me. Focus on you. And when you spin these plates, it is about you. Don't focus on the plate. Focus on your hands. The plate is the plate. You the one spinning that bitch. If the plate fall, the plate fall. And like if we talk about it from the aspect of women are shifty. Women are emotional. Women, it might be heavier on this side this day, lighter on this side the other day. Your spinning might not be the issue. It could just be the plate. Niggas is ready to kill themselves to go with the plate. Nah, if the look, become the best spinner you can do, but don't adjust to the plate. Let it fall if it fall. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people gonna get mad. This whole analogy calling women plates.
No, I love
even
that,
though
no.
niggas is plates too. I mean, like, look, like, let's stop playing. Like, a lot of these women don't hide. It's like, how many women have you heard about? And this could be real, like, because I'm not assuming that my personal perspective is the main perspective that most men share. How many women have you heard about that left a relationship and didn't fuck nobody for like a year?
Yikes.
Because, like, I was going to say get into another relationship, but that doesn't mean nothing. Well, I know women who've been single, but I'm saying, like, literally, like, they leave a relationship and don't fuck anybody for, like, a year. Just personally, it could be a friend. It could be the ex of a friend where he just bitched about how she got a new nigga super early. It could be a girl you used to deal with or just a female friend that you had and you seen her break up with her nigga. Just females in your life. Because, like, when we talk to family, like, I doubt we're going to have those deep type conversations.
I've heard, like, women personally tell me that they've waited, like, a few months, but I've never heard one tell me it's been a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that, I feel like that is mainly because they're always spinning plates. Like, they might do it a little bit differently. They might get over things a little bit differently than us. But we all got needs as human beings. They have the sexual abundance to not ever have to wait a year for physical contact. Whereas we have to develop our experience to attain physical contact. It's like, it really goes into how well we're able to understand ourselves and the people we deal with, like, in the day-to-day. But, like, what's y'all thoughts on what you think is so far?
I feel like overall, play theory is very important for men, especially because, well, just for men, because of that abundance mindset that it gives you. Because at the end of the day, women can handle emotions a lot better than men can. So it's like, say when you're practicing plate theory, and a certain plate might leave, it affects you less. You're not as hurt because you don't have this idealized version of love and shit like that. So, because it's like men will kill for pussy. Women ain't killing nothing for dick, let alone killing themselves over some dick type shit. But men will. So if you have this mindset, you're less emotionally invested in women type shit, or in certain women in certain plates.
I agree with that because, like I said earlier, like when I said the girl wasn't like responding and shit, and I just hit up a couple different other girls, it was just like, all right, like you're not fucking with me, so I'm gonna hit up these other Johns.
It seems like the end of a world when a certain girl might leave a man, as opposed to, it's not gonna feel like that for a woman. She'll get over it.
Yeah. See, I feel like women process their emotions slightly differently. Well, fuck. I don't want to deter too much, but I would ask the question: when a woman loses a man versus when a man loses a woman, what are we really missing? I would argue that women tend to be more disappointed over the potential, whereas men tend to be more disappointed over the present. Like, men will appreciate women based off of what they get in the here and the now. Whereas women do also from men, but women also expect different things. So it's like a guy can be poor as fuck, and have a girl support him, ride for him, be there for him, fuck, cook, clean, all this type of shit, and they just love you for what you do and how you make them feel, and then they will do anything for you, die for you type shit. Whereas that same woman, I would assume in that scenario, is there because they care about you, but they're there because of what they see in you. You might be poor right now, but they see that you can do more. They see you could be great. They see all these different things. So when they get over it, or when they go through it, it's because they might have a sense of regret. They might be like, why did I waste my time with you? Why couldn't you be what I thought you can be? Sometimes they might fall back and think, let me give them another shot. Like when we look at all these different aspects of it, whereas a dude is more like, fuck, like I thought you actually like fulfilled this emotion or whatever. And like, we don't process the emotions the same way, or we might act more rash, more violent in different ways. Like you always see, and I feel like niggas might do the same shit, honestly. So I don't want to put this just on females, but when you see a person get into a relationship and their partner cheats on them, you see a lot of the time we focus on the person that your partner is cheating on you with, opposed to your partner. You know, like a lot of that time we focus on that because instead
You're
of
trying to fight the nigga.
Well, you're trying to fight yourself instead of fighting yourself. Like that's how I put it. It's like if you see your partner's cheating on you, you want to fight the person they cheating with. That's really just fighting yourself. You're not really trying to understand why they did what they did. So instead of saying, damn, you're a piece of shit, you want to put it on you. You did something wrong, so now you got to fuck up this person that you're replaced with so you could prove yourself to some extent.
Okay.
It's like, it's like, and I feel like men a lot of the time, or I'm trying to find good ways to put this.
Just say it.
All right,
so no bullshit.
all right, so I'll say like real niggas ain't gonna be mad at the nigga for fucking this bitch as much as he's gonna just drop the bitch and be like, yo, use it goofy. Look at the dude and be like, yo, you got it, fam. I'm going. It's like,
Facts.
Like I had a conversation with a friend of mine about like, yo, if I'm dealing with a chick and she tell me she got a boyfriend and I keep pursuing and then I eventually get it, did I just do homeboy a favor? Because
It's
like,
niggas who think like that.
like nah, but on the real, it's like somebody might argue that I fucked up a good relationship. Where no, I didn't. She the one that fucked that shit up because she was the one that was in a relationship and fucked a nigga outside of her relationship.
True.
So did I wreck a happy home? Or did I prove that the home was fucked up already?
Right.
It's like,
I mean, we
She
talked
made a
about this
decision.
on Screenshot Day when I was here last week.
probably it.
You what I had said was unless you're gonna tell the nigga, then you kind like it's really no point in feeling a type of way about how it like how the relationship was or is gonna be. Because if you don't tell a nigga and he never find out, then you're not really doing him a favor.
See, I feel like, and I agree with that, but I feel like the deeper aspects is like where if your significant other cheats on you, you probably were already fucking up. Like,
I believe that
straight
as
up.
well.
So it's like if whether I personally come and tell you yo I was smashing your girl, the fact is she got to the point of smashing another nigga and you ain't noticed that. That's just on you. Either you find out and you find out she not the chick you thought she was, or you don't find out, at which point you should have already had a feeling. Not even on no like superstitious shit, just on a like purely analytical way. Like
She acting different.
yeah. But then that goes into like the social and like the emotional communication aspects. Like I feel like it's easier to convince a guy to be calm on certain things than it is to convince a woman. You know, you could have like the most hot-headed guy and then his girl come get him and then just start rubbing on his face, kiss him, baby, chill, he relax. Whereas you got a girl in that same situation, it's not always
Don't
the
tell me
same
to
way.
calm down.
Don't tell. Yeah, it's gotten to the point you tell a girl to calm down. That's like saying the B word.
Yo, they hate that. Yo, females hate that shit, bro.
Yo, relax.
They
You
hate to be
can't-
told
you
to
can't.
calm down.
Whereas the guy is easily controlled by his woman, and we made that the norm. Whereas for a woman to not like if I got a girl and she's on some wild shit, I'm like, yo, babe, chill, and she don't chill, she don't respect me as her man.
I was about to say, yeah, that's a problem.
She don't. Like, what are you mad about? To where your man is like, yo, babe, chill, and you don't relax. Cause like anything you're mad about to some like outside of some emotional shit. Cause like emotional shit, I'm supposed to be your rock. So if I can't make you chill, what type of rock am I? What type of man am I in your life? Whereas my woman is not supposed to be my rock. She's not supposed to control my emotions. I'm supposed to hold her down. So if my bitch can control me and I can't control her, you lost already, bro. If you see some shit and you got a gut feeling and she convinced you out of your gut feeling and you still not 100% sure, but you just like, I'm a trust her, you wrong already. It's like that. We fuck up a lot simply because we get caught up in the scarcity. We might think this girl is for me. This my girl. I don't want to lose my girl. I want to keep her. I want to make her happy. I want to do. Whole time you frustrated, you mad, you irritated, you not liking the way things going. You can't see her when you want to see her. You can't do the things you want to do. You can't go where you want to go. All because you trying to keep this girl who is not making the same sacrifices for you as you are for her. Plate theory is like fuck all that. But what's y'all thoughts on that? Y'all two been silent for the most part. I feel y'all agree, but give me some
Yeah, it's
introspectiveness.
a lot. Yeah, that was a lot to take in. So I'm just thinking. But I had something to say to what Twan was saying earlier. I kind of forget. When you were saying that.
Talking to the mic.
Oh, when you were saying that women get over men easier.
Yeah.
I think both of y'all was saying that.
Yeah.
Are you just talking about in general, or are you talking specifically about like relationship, or just like guys that just dealing with-
Relationship
What's the
wise.
difference?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, what is the difference?
well, at least in my experience, like I've seen girls like lose their shit over like losing a guy when they were in a serious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for me, it's like I don't know if I agree with that all the way.
Well, what you mean by lose their shit?
Like cry hysterically, like go into depression for weeks, months at a time. Yeah, that like they just like shut down.
And you talking about when a guy cheats on a girl?
Well, I'm
When the
talking about
relationship ends.
Yeah, when a relationship ends for whatever reason, like when they lose their guy, like when they're still in love with the guy.
So
but
I do want to ask: Are you asking, or are you speaking on when a guy breaks up with the girl?
yeah,
Okay, and then the girl has a hard time getting over it.
yeah,
And then we're comparing that to a guy having a hard time getting over getting broken up with.
yeah,
Okay, I can understand that, right? I can understand that because for me, I look at it from the point of like, or at least my first instinct is to look at it from on one perspective. You have the girl who thinks she's in a good relationship, everything is cool. Then on the other side, you have the guy who's in a relationship and he thinks everything is cool. So from those two perspectives, we might look at it and say, all right, cool, they're balanced, they're even, whatever, right? Now, if the guy were to have some type of infidelity on the female, that doesn't necessarily mean that his love is gone. Maybe it was just sex, right? Whereas most of the time it's different when a girl does that same thing. Majority of the time when a girl cheats is because she doesn't necessarily respect her man. He isn't providing in some type of way.
Right.
She found other qualities attractive in another person, so she ends up having sex with that other person, right? So that's from the infidelity side. When we talk purely on a relationship side, it does get a little bit different, right? At least in my opinion, because like you might have the guy who is like, yeah, everything is cool in a relationship, like that is perfect, and then the girl breaks up with him. He might be confused, right? And that's like it's like, damn, what the fuck? Sometimes you're just not good at reading certain signs, you know? Where, because women tend to be more covert with shit. They tend to be more passive aggressive. They want to show you through different ways, opposed to just be upfront, blunt, and just say what it is. So that might cause those issues on that particular side. But then with the guy, I feel like guys will break up with a girl if the girl is doing some wild shit. Like how many, and this is just my opinion, right? Or let me even take it to this extent. I would say guys are more likely to make a relationship work longer than a female. I say that because and this is honestly a shallow reason. At the end of the day, guys have like, I mean, I don't know how y'all would feel about this, and I feel like the word need is extreme.
No bullshit. Just
But
go
I'll
ahead.
say I feel like guys need pussy. We have like from the moment we go through puberties, our dicks is hard as shit for random. We in math class and get a boner for no reason. You got motherfuckers humping pillows and like it's a like you get angry and irritable when you don't get to release that shit. Your testosterone builds. You get violent. You get like we need sexual relief. Females don't require it in the same way. They desire it based on their attraction to the man. Man is attracted to pussy.
It's more out of enjoyment
Women are
than
attracted to
necessity.
men. I wouldn't even take it there. I feel like with men it's like necessity, enjoyment, where with women it's based on your attraction. A nigga who has not a nigga fresh out of prison goes into a street full of ugly females, he's still gonna want to fuck something simply because of the vagina. Flip the scenario, a girl fresh out of prison ain't looking for some dick right away. Unless the nigga got a big dick, the less the nigga know how to fuck, unless the nigga is attractive or can give her something. It's the different requirements in the same way. You know what I mean?
And I feel like those requirements are based off her enjoyment. And niggas have less requirements because it's more necessitous for us to a certain extent. That's why we're willing to just bust a nut with an ugly bitch.
No,
Because
I
we
won't
low-key
disagree with you
need
there.
that release.
But within
But
that
women are
need-
looking for their best possible enjoyment.
Well, all right. But then that goes into another aspect, right? Because most vaginas are made equal, where all penises is different sizes and widths. It's like damn near any vagina can give the same pleasure to any man, whereas different penises are not going to give the same pleasure. Women are naturally more selective, where men are naturally more adaptable to any woman. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of those things. But when it comes down to the breaking up aspect, more than likely, the guy could literally be annoyed by his girl. Could be annoyed. And honestly, and I'm noticing this more and more. I feel like my first instinct is that like they're stepping out of their frame. But like I've literally had homies chill with me, but they're in relationships and they dip off. They be like, yeah, man, this bitch just hit me up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but that's your girl though. It's like, yeah, you know, I mean, I love her, but you just said, yeah, this, but like you irritated right now. You don't want to leave. Why are you leaving right now? Well, yeah, because I don't want to hear him out. What she going? Wait, hold up. And then we got to take steps into this conversation. It's like, so you telling me that you fuck with her, but there's certain things that you don't like about her that really irritates you, and then you're stressed out over her, but you like certain aspects. To me, and then this gets super confusing because it's not always from guys who like live within the scarcity mindset. You might have other options. But and we already touched on this on the Men Are the True Romantics. That's what we talk about, how like a lot of niggas is on some gushy, gooey, emotional, soft in the inside type shit, but then hard on the outside. Because if you telling me that you got work in the morning, you telling me that you gonna leave and you gonna come right back, you gotta go to your girl crib, but then I hit you the next day, you was like, yeah, I went over there and we ended up doing X, Y, and Z, and then like, yeah, I was just done for the night. I'm like, all right, well, I used to look at that differently than I do now. It's like your girl is going to try to control different aspects of your life. And her respect of you is based on how you don't let her do that shit. Case in point, example. Let's say I'm in a relationship. Okay. And let's say the four of us are at your crib, Jazz. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, yo, I got to go real quick. I got to go to my girl. I got to drop something off. Yeah, I'm going to come back afterwards. I dip off. I don't come back or hit you back for the rest of the night. Later on, you find out like, yeah, I went to the crib and then we just started talking. But then, you know, I just ended up smashing and we was blah, blah, blah. And then like that, I don't know how you would feel about that. Maybe that's, oh yeah, you was with your girl, valid excuse, whatever. Maybe that's how you would feel about it.
Personally, I wouldn't give a shit.
Right. And back in the day, I wouldn't have either. But now I look at it different. Because in my mind now, I'm like, okay, well, did you tell her that I'm coming to drop this off and I'm leaving? Did you say that? If you didn't, that's your problem, communication wise. Not necessarily from you to your girl, but from you to your homies. That's your issue, communication wise. Because you should have told your girl that. And if you say you're gonna be right back, and you tell your homies that, your girl should know that I'm dropping this off and I'm leaving. Cool. After that, if your girl knew that you were coming over just to drop that off, and then you stayed over and your night was over with her over pussy, yeah, you out of frame, bro. You out of frame. She just leveraged pussy to steal your time. You not even looking at it that way. She just leveraged her pussy to steal your time. You told her, this is how much time you get. I'm doing this for you and then I'm out.
What if this was a studio session?
Bruh. I mean,
or like some more important shit that you doing.
But then that goes down into how the individual values their own time. But I feel like it's more of the perspective of it. Because like on a base level, let's say we're at Jazz Crib. All we doing is playing video games. That's not that important, right? So if you got to do something, you want to do it for your girl, do it for your girl. But then when you like go out of your way to say, yo, when I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna come back. At that point, that's you making a decision. I'm spending time with homies. That's you making that decision. So when you go and you say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to go back to this, and then you don't. And then the leverage was the vagina, you're out of frame. She understands now. Now she understands that, hey.
Pussy turned you into a capping ass nigga.
No, not even that. You could word it that way.
Is it not being a guy, though?
No,
Like,
because
that
no,
would-
but and I feel like that's what plate theory was talking about, staying in frame. And I know
Yeah.
like it didn't focus on frame, but it's about staying in frame
Mm.
because you need to understand that when I have something I got to do, like all right, for example, within my last situation, and this is where I like the more experience you got, the more you could like just connect shit to yourself personally. So I told homegirl like, look, I am free during these times.
Mm.
I realized now I probably shouldn't even done that. But I was more honest than I probably should have been, but I was honest.
Mm.
This is when I'm free. I wake up at this time and this is my routine. This is what I do. I'm not going to rush it for you. You can come through when I am done. That's it. If I wake up earlier, maybe you could come through earlier, maybe. But this is my routine, and I'm going to do my routine. I'm not going to change my routine for you. When are you free? What do you have to do? Choose when you want to see me or make time for me. I'm telling you right now, I have this to do, and when I am done, and you can come through then. Many a time, I finished my routine, and she was outside parked up waiting for me to text her and say you could come in. Now then I peep when I'm like, yo, I got work. And then we on the phone and we doing X, Y, and Z and we whatever. And then she like, oh, don't you got work? But I'm like, yeah, like, but I could go in a little late. I want to
Fuck
finish
work.
this talk.
Fuck work.
The
Fuck the
reactions are
bag.
different. The reactions are different. And it just is what it is within that. And I'm just like, I get it. Because the whole point is when I'm focusing on me, there's a certain amount of appreciation for the time you get with me. But when I'm focused on you, then you feel entitled to it.